Hey YouTube, I'm seeing a lot of logs on parental alienation and what it consists of, or the hardships and what everybody's gone through and what the children are going through, such as yourself as the alienated parent or the targeted parent, the abused parent. There's three people involved. There's the children, they're both parents, but one is the targeted parent and the other one is the targeting parent or the abusive parent and abuse parent. Parental alienation is something in the courts that is starting to be recognized progressively through people being more aware and bringing it into court. In my personal situation, I'm on my 10th year. So I'm on my 10th year with that. It's finally now going in my favor because parental alienation is very hard to prove. And in order to prove that, you have to prove the interference. How you're being interfered with. There's many ways that you're being interfered with as the targeted parents, because you have your reasons that saying, hey, look, what the other parent is doing is not right. But how can you prove this? That's the hard part about it. Well, you could start by three signs that first off is the alienation of the children. The removing of the children is number one. Number two is a constant litigation, excessive litigation, that you keep going to court, and the habitual orders that are broken by the other parent, but for some way, somehow, doesn't go in contempt. So now you have to present your case with contempt. You could try to get a lawyer. Getting lawyers with me personally, it has not worked. I've gotten 4 lawyers. I've ran myself down $70,000 in lawyers and court fees. They're just there to make the money. They'll throw fuel in the fire. They are basically salespeople. What a lawyer is, they will fuel whatever's your agenda when you walk to that lawyer's office and you tell them, hey, this is what I want. And the lawyers, their job is to get it for you. No matter the morals, the ethics involved, that the virtuosity, the virtue of the good nature of a person giving you sound advice, telling you do not go this path, it will not lead to a positive outcome, but instead will give them whatever they want. So you have a lawyer on the other end, which you think is human, but really it's in their oath to represent the other party, no matter how wrong it is. On your end, you have to get a lawyer that is able to support what you're in there to prove to the courts. These lawyers do not do their homework on your case. It's just a fact. They don't do their homework. You're more likely show up in court unprepared, which has been my case 4 times. That I'm looking at my lawyer like, really? Like, you're not ready for this? And they had ample time to do their research, asking me questions. What's happening? What's going on? So I cut out the lawyers, started doing the litigation myself. I got informed, YouTubing, reading, parental alienation, the syndrome, narcissist parent disorders, and PAS and MMS, malicious mother syndrome, and what it is about, what is happening. You try to tell people what is going on. They don't understand what's going on. And as a alienated parent, I would tell you, do not try to make people understand what's going on. They don't understand. Whatever they're going to tell you is counterintuitive. Until they have lived it themselves, they can understand. And typically as a father and a male being in the legal system, it's not on your side when it comes to having children. And family members will look at you that way. Friends will look at you that way. Society will look at you that way. That you must have done something wrong in that relationship. You must have been the one who caused domestic violence, abuse, cheated on her, lied to her whatsoever, because in society we cater to women. The woman's supposed to be the victim and gentle flowers, and we're there to protect them as men. I mean, just look at the laws. So I've been in domestic violence case. I've been arrested. Cost me $18,000. She starts it. You know, here I am, a judo fighter. At that time, I was 200 some pounds. I mean, shit, you can see it right here. I mean, gold champion in judo. And my kid's mother is nothing but 5'3". And I hadn't seen my child for 2.5 years. And I finally decided to see her in Georgia. This is back in 2013. And so we sit down, and I finally get to see my daughter. And I'm like, wow, I haven't seen her. She was born, you know. And already the denigration and then the abuse, verbal abuse by the mom started at the dinner table. And, you know, I'm like, whoa, I'm here for the kid. Let's not start this. And then she's just constantly barraging me with abuse and verbal attacks. To the point I said, look, man, here's some money. I'm out. Immediately she releases the child to me, and the child runs over to me as I'm walking away. Not walking away from the child. Don't get it wrong. I'm walking away from the situation that can end up being bad. That's what I'm walking away from. You know, I will never walk away from my child. It's just I'm walking away from the potential problem that may erupt. It's like a volcano between these two parents. Anyways, short story, long story short, we're in the parking lot. I'm being walked over to, I'm walking over to my car, and she kneels down on her knee and she says, look at your father, look at your father. And the child's number 3 years old, and you don't need him. You don't need him. Stop crying. Stop crying. You don't need him. Look at him. Look how he's giving up on you. Right there at the moment, no matter the outcome, I had to turn around and reach out for my child. Now that she manipulated the both of us, she releases the child. Child runs over to me about 15 feet. A 3-year-old just running towards me. I grab her. I said, baby, I'll never give up on you. Mother's just looking with her arms crossed. Arms crossed like, yeah, I got you under control and manipulation. So, from there, the child's crying in my arms. I take the child, I put her in the mom's car at that time because we walked over to the cars, and I put her in the mom's car. The mom slams the door. I was like, look, what's your problem? What can we do to solve this problem? What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? But when you're dealing with a parental alienator, it's not compromise. There's no win-win. There's no compromise. There's not a positive outcome or solution. What they're trying to do is destroy your life. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to destroy your life. And the child's life in the middle of it, with the conflict and turmoil. So I'm trying to explain to her, hey man, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? You don't pay child support. You don't do this. You're not a father. I do everything. Well, you're the one literally cutting my legs from underneath me, from being able to do anything. I'm there to father my child. Now you're crying that I'm not there to father my child, but you're creating the alienation. That's number one. Financial support. Well, I've given you so much money that it ruined me and put me in financial calamity that I'm unable to send you child support on time. You constantly got me in the court system, paying lawyers off. Then I'm falling behind on child support. So what are you saying? So you can't win that argument. The child needs you, but you're not there for the kid. So I'm doing everything myself. Well, I try to be there. I'm here now, and look what's happening. Anyways, it didn't get anywhere. So I jump in the car. She jumps in the car. As I pull the car over, I back it up to her license plate and I say, oh, I'm finally gonna get to know where my child lives. Let me get the license plate. I jump out to get the license, take a picture. The mom jumps out of the car, starts going crazy at me. Breaks my glasses, scratches me about the face, rips my shirt off and everything. Police arrive. Well, to be more in detail, I push her off of me. Again, I do judo. I push her off to me, she falls to the ground. I said, man, this is too much. I get in the car, I drive away. I said, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just protecting myself. So I turn back around. Now I see this 5 cop cars. And people that halfway saw what happened were there as the eyewitnesses and to support her that I was this abuse, I was this monster. I told the cops, look, man, let's rationalize this. Let's be reasonable. I'm 200 pounds. I'm an MMA fighter. She's nothing but 130 pounds. If I really wanted to do something to her, to physically harm her, I can. I would have. There's nothing to stop me in the time, in 5 seconds that I had, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. There's nothing she can do. If I really wanted to do something to her, she would have suffered from it. I said, officer, what did she suffer from? The officer looked down and looked away, looked down. He said, well, she suffered from a scratched foot. I said, a scratched foot. Look at my face. Look at my broken glasses. Look at my shirt. And you're telling me that I'm the abuser. Well, she has witnesses. The witness that walked out of the restaurant were not there as I looked around. They were not there as I looked around. Now, they're bipartial into seeing what happened. Police didn't want to understand what's going on. Who cares? Really, who cares? At that point in time, I said, you know what? I'm a black male. Let's go to jail. I put my hands behind my back. I'm thrown to the cop car. And then I'm on my way to jail. First time I've been arrested, and it was over my daughter with parental alienation. The case cost me $18,000. So, it's a no-win situation. It drags you down financially, it drags you down spiritually, mentally, physically. Some days I didn't want to get up out of bed. I mean, this person that I met, I was 26 years old. I owned 9 houses in New York. I had 4 trucks. I'm in a tractor trailer. I owned 4 of these. I employed people, and I had 9 houses in New York. I was 26 years old. A year later from meeting that woman, I'm sleeping in the street in Atlanta, homeless. That's how bad that toxic people, which the alienators are toxic people, they're narcissists. The best thing you can do to do to yourself is to get away from that type of person. That's the best thing you can do. But as you're trying to do this, there's a child in the middle that is stuck in the middle. You want to be there for your child, and you see how this person is abusive, how they make themselves out to be the victim, how they're abusing you, and they could really care less about the child. So you're trying to protect the child from the outside. But how can you do this when you have a court system in front of you, and then you have the mom, and then you got her support group before you get to the child? So this is not an easy battle. This is something very, very, very hard. Especially when you go back to your family and your family just looks at you because they don't understand what's going on. What they're thinking is counterintuitive. The answers that they're giving you out of the questions are not suited for your type of argument. They don't understand what's going on. All they see is 2 people having arguments and fighting. Well, there's some things wrong about you too. Well, look, absolutely there's things wrong about me. But taking a child away? No, I don't deserve that. And that's something I would never do to her, whatever she would have done to me, because in the child's best interest is for the child to have both parents. Both parents. But when an alienator, no, they'll totally remove that child away from the other parent and create havoc, conflict, and turmoil. And if you allow it, it will drag you down. Trust me. I mean, I was 26 years old with 9 houses and 4 trucks. I'm 38 now. I'm still in my 10th year fighting this court. I'm going to court May 17th again for a final hearing because I've summed up all my evidence and facts together. Text message, video recordings, pictures. I finally said, you know what? My approach is different. You know, judo. You can't fight a guy the same way. He already knows if you're going to do this, he's going to do that in opposition. So you have to change your moves. You have to add techniques and apply different moves till you find them out of bounds. And you counter his actions. You counter his move. The court system is the same way. You're going to have to attack different ways. The best way to attack is with pictures, text, and recorded conversations. Record your conversations, your texts, your pictures, your videos. Keep them. That's all you have, because you cannot prove it to people through argument, verbally. You can't. It's through facts. When I started showing facts and videos to my family after 9 years, they're like, "Oh my God, we didn't know." Even my own mother, that she gets off the phone with my mom. My mom comes back to me, he's not sending me any money. Mom, you want to see my receipts? Here's receipts. And I could just do this with receipts. I could let it rain. If I was in the strip club, I could let it rain for an hour of child support receipts. Okay? But I'm not there to prove to my mom, and my mom is not there to get proof out of me. She's my mother. But she starts, after getting a conversation with her, "Oh, your father didn't send me money, so I understand how she feels." No, wait a minute. Our father could care less about being in our lives. It's different. From this case right here, I'm fighting to be my child's life, and I send money in my child's best interest. It's for my child. But in return, she still won't allow me to see my child. So the argument of money is not the truth. So now I try to prove this to my mom. It's hard to prove. I got to send receipts. So I show receipts with videos. They're like, "Oh my God, that's a lot of money." Yeah. 7 years of child support. Yeah. Oh my God, she's wrong. So facts, videos, text, record your conversations. Because I would not have had a chance in court to be heard on May 17th unless it was a recording that that by mistake, I didn't bother on filming my daughter with me. I just did for the moment that I was with her. And so when the judge asked me, "What do you have of video?" I'm like, well, because what I was saying prior verbally didn't have no effects, no evidence, no facts. The judge asked me in my favor, "What do you have?" I said, I pulled out my tablet and I was like, "We were at a beauty salon, look. And she's getting her hair done. And look." And the judge looked at that and was like, "Okay, so you're asking for supervised visitations. Supervised visitations. Where were you when the child was getting her hair done?" The mom was like, "Fabric glass. I was around the corner. I was right around the corner." And no, we're not going to use that in court. So supervised visitations denied. Just like that. Just like that, a decision could have been made of supervised visitations for my daughter. Just like that. But the fact. So now I've gathered more facts. I made it my campaign to gather facts and evidence. And I have so much right now to prove my case that I'm 90% sure of winning my daughter and getting her out of the abusive home, because it is abuse. A parent that allows this to be done to a child is an abusive parent. It's not in the child's best interest. Prove that to the court. Prove that to the court. That's the problem. So courts are becoming more aware as we're adopting the 50-50 rule across states. Georgia still hasn't applied yet. So, until then, a lawyer, nah. What do you need a lawyer for? You know what to argue, have your facts and evidence. It always any argument. You don't need a lawyer for that. You don't need to spend $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20,000. Don't be like me. Do you have a lawyer? Do you have a lawyer? Do you have a lawyer? No, I don't have a lawyer anymore. No, I don't have a lawyer anymore. Oh, I think you should get a lawyer. For what? I've used 4 lawyers. Oh, how? Well, I think you should do your research on the lawyers you get. All right. Have a nice day. That's what I mean by counterintuitive. They have not lived it. They have not experienced it. They don't know what it is having a child ripped away from you and the depression you're going to feel of being separated from your child. They don't understand that. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you don't want to get out of bed, and all you do is think how your child's doing. And you feel like you're locked up in a cage, but you can't get out the cage of this emotional, psychological turmoil. And all this is done by the other side's fabrications of you as being this abusive, disgusting father, pathetic father that doesn't pay child support, could care less about their child, doesn't want to see their child, on and so forth. It goes on forever. I've been called an abuser, to an abductor, to abandoner, to financially responsible, to a liar, to oh man, it keeps going, to a liar. And I think she's ran out of words. I mean, but I was able to prove the opposition of such through my evidence. I'm a hardworking man. I have a child on the way. The woman I'm with loves me. Oh, and get this. Now that I'm moving on with my life with another woman, oh, now she's attacking the family, that woman now. She's attacking her. No, you can't have a good life. You can't have a good life. You're under my control. You belong to me. So I have that as evidence also, threatening my pregnant fiance with a 7-month-old son in the stomach just last month. I have that on evidence. It's all recorded. And I'm going to finally be able to show how of a violent person that she is. That in front of the police, she's this little woman in distress, this victim, this angel, and that she's never done anything wrong to create all this conflict. Again, with the police, it's very quick for the police to just say, put your hands behind your back. That's it. You're done. You're done. And then now she uses that argument against you in court. Well, he's domestic violence over here on this date. Domestic violence are here on this date, and you go to court and they throw that in. Domestic violence on the now you gotta say to the judge, Your Honor, I didn't come here to be criminalized. This is not a criminal case. I'm here to talk about seeing my child in my visitations. Why are we talking about criminality? Can't be used here in court, Your Honor. I object. She can't use that. Irrelevant. The judge said, yeah, irrelevant. Can't use that in court. So, know your arguments. Know your arguments. So, I have more videos. I've lived it for 10 years. Some people have lived for 20, 25 years as the alienated child. But right now, it's about saving my kid, saving my daughter, and giving her the best upbringing possible. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Anyway, I gotta go.